welcome. If you're new here, my name is Grace and I love plants. Thanks so much for clicking on this video and for joining me today. I hope you're having a good day so far. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to be talking too much about plants. Instead, we're going to talk about pots. I thought I'd do a little video on my top favorite pots from my collection because I do get a lot of questions from you guys, especially on Instagram, asking where I've gotten some of my pots. So if you're based in Australia and want to know where I got some of my pots, then definitely keep on watching. I'm going to go through my top 20 favorite pots, talk a little bit about the plants that I have in them, where I got them from, prices, and things like that so that you are informed in your decision making. I believe most of these pots are still available in store, so I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts. As an overview, I do get my pots from a lot of different places and a lot of different sources, so I thought I would break this video up into several parts, just focusing on some of the pots that I've gotten from a certain location, and then do like a miscellaneous category at the end where I share some of my favorite ceramicists and other pot sellers on Instagram and things like that here in Australia. So without further ado, let's get into it. The number one place where I get most of my pots, I would say around like 50 to 60% of the pots that I use in my collection are from FlowerPower. They have a wide selection of pots available in their stores and they are constantly updating it and adding more and more pots to their selection. So I'm going to share with you some of the pots that I did pick up from them, even though I have a lot more. I'm not going to go through all of them because we're going to be here forever. So I'm just going to show you my top picks. So this is a pot that I got from FlowerPower and I really like that it has a unique shape. It's not symmetrical and it's a little bit more organic in shape. This pot is called the Samsara? I don't know how you would say this, but that's what it's called. It's 16 centimeters in diameter and it cost $30. I believe they do have a smaller version of this as well. I do keep my Tradescantia tricolor in this pot and I think it looks pretty adorable. This pot doesn't have a drainage hole in there, but because I do tend to keep most of my plants in their nursery pots, I don't mind that they don't have drainage holes in them. I also got this little guy from FlowerPower and this is the Volterra planter and it's 11 centimeters in diameter. This costs $15. I have my Hoya Mathilde on a trellis inside this pot. It does have a drainage hole in there. It has a tray attached to it as well, so it's not going to leak everywhere, so I really like that. I've got another two pots here also from FlowerPower. I like that they have a sort of geometric type tribal patterns. I believe these are both 11 centimeters in diameter and they both cost $15 each. So this one here is called the Aztec planter. This one here is called the Jericho planter. Both of these pots do not have drainage holes, but like I said, I do prefer pots without drainage holes because I keep most of my plants in nursery pots and I let them free drain before I put them in there. Or I do tend to bottom water sometimes, so I prefer my planters to not have drainage holes so that they don't leak everywhere. So that's just my preference, but if you guys are more interested in planters with drainage holes, I do have some recommendations here for you as well. In this pot, I do keep my Philodendron Florida Ghost. It is just a little guy for now, and it's chugging along. And in here, I have a little pot of Cebu Blue Pothos. This is another one of my favorite pots from FlowerPower. I really like that it has the sunburst design. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's got like a Gatsby-esque sort of Art Deco style to it. It is called the Novo Planter and it is $16.99, so about $17. And I believe this would be like a 14 or 15 centimeters in diameter. This is a Calathea Rosiopicta illustris. It's a relatively new plant and I think it looks pretty good with the pot. And another one from FlowerPower is this guy right here. It has indentations on it as the pattern, and this is called a York planter. It is 12 centimeters in diameter and it cost $9.99, so just $10. And in here I do keep my silver dollar vine. I find that the round shape of the leaves complements the round indentations really nicely in this pot. Last planter from FlowerPower before I move on. So this here is a Santana Sage in 10 centimeters and this cost $15. It also doesn't have a drainage hole, and I have a Hoya retusa just chilling in there. So I really like that it's a plain design. It is an organic sage color. I think it looks really nice in neutral. I'm a neutral kind of gal. I do prefer my collection and my pots to have like the organic and neutral kind of color scheme and palette. So I do tend to pick pots that go with that sort of theme. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna pick that up throughout this video, so I thought I'd just address it to get that out of the way. If FlowerPower locations are a little bit far from where you are, an option that is more central is Newtown Garden Center. It's one of my favorites because they have a good selection of plants there, and also they have a great selection of pots, tools, and anything you need for indoor gardening. So for Newtown Garden Center, I have 3 to show you guys. The first one is this pot right here. It's another white pot, but it has some brown speckling, very subtle, and it has some, you know, really dainty and girly patterns on it that are embossed. This cost $15, and I believe it is 12 centimeters in diameter. I do have a 10 centimeter pot in here, and this pot doesn't have a drainage hole, but I do have this plant that is in semi-hydro sitting in there, so I constantly have a reservoir of water in here. And in this pot I keep my Anthurium silver. That's this guy. Here I have another pot from Newtown. It has a sort of like iridescent sheen to it. It's kind of pearly in color. This pot is called the Flower Pot Road Pearl Coated in the 13 centimeters, and this cost $19.99, so $20. And this pot comes with a drainage hole, as you can see there. In here I have my Calathea Flame Star that's just reviving from the ashes. I did cut it back completely and it's coming back to life, so that's really good to see. And this is another similar sort of vibe. It is another pearly pot from Newtown. This one here is shorter and smaller, and it also has these little indentations patterning around it. This one is $10.99 and it's called the same thing. It's just pearl coated flower pot. And I do have my Philodendron Silver Cloud in this pot, and I just think it looks really good with it. Now, if you are nearer to the North Shore, then I do recommend Honeysuckle Nursery in Mosman. They have a really nice selection of indoor plants, outdoor plants, flowering plants, and things like that too. Honeysuckle Nursery was sort of my go-to when I first started getting into plants, and this is one of the very first planters that I got. This is from Jonas & Co, and this is called their Adele planter. And Honeysuckle Nursery is a stockist for Jonas & Co planters. So that's where I got this one. It is a pricey little one, I'm not going to lie. This cost me close to 50 bucks. It's $49.99 or something like that. But I really like the look of it. So at that point in time, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna splurge on a pot as well. And so that's the story of this guy. I almost exclusively grow one type of plant in here because I think it looks made for this pot, and it is this Baby Tears. I have killed a number of these guys, but they're relatively inexpensive to replace, so I've just been replacing it because I don't like the look of her without her hair. They grow really well for a while and then they just completely dry out. I think the key is to keep the soil moist and to trim it back. More recently, I got this little cutie from there. This is a egg cover pot, and it is 12 centimeters in diameter, and it cost me $14.99, so $15. I think it looks super adorable. It really does look like an egg. The finish is on point. and the shape of it as well. In here I do have a wish list plant that I've recently purchased. So this is the Philodendron Pastazanum round form. I did finally get my hands on it. It has 2 leaves and it has a new leaf on the way. So I'm really excited about that. I think it looks pretty cute. So that's what it looks like. And yeah, I think that's all of the pots that I got from Honeysuckle Nursery that I wanted to show you guys. I believe I have more, but I kind of need to like look through all the pots that I have to remind myself where I got them from, and I just rearranged my shelves and I don't want to make a mess again. Okay, so the final category is sort of a catch-all for all the random places that I have gotten some of my pots, and these are just in no particular order. These can range from like Target ones to some boutique or handcrafted ceramics, and obviously those ones would be a lot more expensive. So if that's not something you're into, I totally understand. There is a range of different options for you here in this video. So yeah, let me just start off with this one right here. And the first one is this guy. This is from Target, would you believe? I think it's actually pretty cute and very like on theme and on brand with most of the pots that I have in my collection. So this doesn't have a price tag on it, but I do have the name of it. It's called the Speckle Glaze Handle Pot Small, but if I remember correctly, it's probably around like $10 or something, maybe $9.99. But yeah, you can check it out at Target to see if this is still available. I have my Oxalis Triangularis in there. It's absolutely just busting, so this is kind of crazy looking, but this is what it looks like now. I really like the handles. They look like half of a butterfly to me, like 2 butterflies, so I thought I would pair it with a butterfly looking plant. That's this one. I don't know about you guys, but I do tend to like think about the pots that I want to pair my plants with. Yeah, let me know down in the comments down below if that's something you guys do too, and how do you kind of decide what plant to put in which pot. Next pot is this guy right here. It is a peachy pot and it has like a raw texture to it, but the bottom saucer is a little bit glazed and shiny. This is what the saucer looks like. Oops, that's my elbow. This is what the saucer looks like. And the pot does come with a drainage hole, but it also has a plug in there if you don't want to use it, and it comes with the saucer. So I'm really a huge fan of this one. I bought this from Sunday Studio, I believe, but I did wanted to give this a shout out because it's an absolutely beautiful pot. And I do keep my Philodendron Gloriosum in this pot. I think it looks good together. Okay, so I've got a couple more ceramicists or like online stores or online brands that I wanted to share with you guys. And the first one is this one right here. This pot is from the plant Honey. She does this amazing hand-painted pots. She's a one-woman show and she designs everything, does the coloring, does the like painting and prepping and everything all on her own. It's really impressive. And this is one of the pots that I got from her. Again, I'll put the details on screen because I don't quite remember how much it cost and all that jazz. This pot is quite large. It has a drainage hole in there. I do keep a larger plant in here, and that's my Philodendron Pastazanum. Next pot is this beautiful pot. This is from the Speckled Pot on Instagram, similar to the plant Honey, who's also on Instagram. She paints with alcohol ink and she just designs the pots, and I just absolutely love the color and the metallic and yeah, everything about it. So this pot doesn't come with a drainage hole. This one here, I believe it's 14 or 15 centimeters in diameter. It is relatively tall as well. And I'm keeping my Calathea musaica in here. She also does custom orders if you are interested in mixing and matching your own colors. I have another one that I believe I showed in my 5 best and worst plants of 2020 video. My Mandula pothos is in the other pot that's more bluish or like turquoisey kind of color. So if you're interested to see what that looks like, then I will link that video up above and also in the description box below. So here we have a ceramic pot from Clay by Tina. This is one of the pricier options. So this is the medium size, and it is, I think this cost me $85 for this pot. I think it's really beautiful though, so it's something that I'm happy to pay for. It is handmade. I just think the colors are like gorgeous. It's all my favorite colors, and the way she's glazed it all, I just think it looks more like a decorative piece, not just a simple planter. And I do have my micans in here. This is a pot of micans cuttings. I just shoved all my micans cuttings into one pot, and it is starting to trail, so I'm really excited about that. My goal with this is to have a trailing pot of micans, and I think at the end of the growing season we might see something promising, so I will update you guys. So that's another one of my favorites. I really love her designs. They are kind of unique looking with the way that she glazes her colors. So if you're interested in that, then definitely go check her out. Finally, and this is one that's not going to come as any surprise to all of you. Most of you would probably already know this brand, but it is Leaf and Thread. It is boutique, and it's also really well done. It's really high quality, and yeah, I will show you what I mean. I do have a couple of pots from them, and I absolutely love their pots. So this is one. They all come with a little saucer, and all their pots have a drainage hole as well, as you can see. I'll link their website down below as well if you want to check them out. This is the Desert Collection, and this is their smallest size available. This is 10 centimeters in diameter and then 8 centimeters tall. And I keep my Peperomia Piccolo Banda in here. This is what it looks like. It has the white glaze and then a burnt sort of earthy tone at the bottom. That's what it looks like on the inside. They've also glazed the inside, so I just think that their pieces are really well thought out, really well designed. It's not just the outside that they focus on, they also look at the inside to make that look nice as well. In terms of pricing, it is a little bit pricey. This one cost me 55 Aussie dollars, which is a pretty hefty sum, because for such a small pot, I'm sure you can find lots of cheaper alternatives. So I hear you if you're outraged about the price, because I'm with you, but I did pay for this, and no regrets, no regrets. I do love it. So this is one that I have, and I have another one. The other one is this guy right here. This is their Blue Frost collection. So it has a saucer, it has a drainage hole, and this is what the inside looks like. I think it's really pretty as well, the way that they've done it and glazed it. And yeah, I think the color is stunning. So I did match it with this plant here. This is a Begonia Connie Boswell that's growing really well. And I think it looks really nice with the bluish hue pot. It's such a great combo. And I do have one more that is in a larger size. I believe it is the medium size. And it's this guy right here. This is a very popular design from Leaf and Thread. This is called their landscape planter. And this is the medium size, so one size up from the previous one. I'll show you the size difference. So this is the small and this is the medium. This is 15 centimeters in diameter and 13 centimeters tall. So all of them come with this saucer, like I said, and this one has a drainage hole. And I can't show you what it looks like because this one I actually did plant my Raphidophora tetrasperma directly in here, so I can't pull it out. And in terms of pricing, this was $95 as compared to the $55 for the smaller one. But I do think that the design is really gorgeous. It looks like art, like I said, and I think it's just like an investment piece that you do not want to break. Those are my top favorite pots in my collection that I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like this video and leave me a comment down below to let me know what are some of the places that you go to get your pots, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. I post videos every week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!